Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start the session. Salesforce Admin Training Day 26. Today's agenda, we'll quickly go through the previous session overview, and then we'll talk about the differences between the public group and queue. And today our topic is automated transfer. And then assignment rules. Then we'll have a quiz, homework, today's interview questions. Now, what did we learn in the last session? Sharing rules and queues.
Queue members.
Public read-write transfer. What else we have learned?
Queue supporting objects, queue members, and navigation steps of queues.
Right. So we have learned the public group and we have learned the queues. Right. So what is the differences between the public group and queues?
Queue is for assignment, ma'am.
Queue is for assignment. Okay.
And public group we will use to share the records to user or group of users.
Okay. So the public group is, let's see the differences between the public group and queue. Now, in the queue is basically it is for assignment. Queue is basically it is for assignment. Whereas public group is, it is to share the record to the user or a group. That means I'm the owner of it. Public group is I'm the owner of it. I'm just sharing the record to the another user or another group. Whereas queue is nothing but we are transferring it or we are assigning the record to the another user. And the main purpose of queue is, the main purpose of Salesforce queue is to balance the workload. That means I am already occupied and there are few other cases or few other leads are with me. Now I cannot handle those leads or I cannot handle those cases. I cannot handle those cases. Now what we can do, we can transfer or I can assign those leads or assign those cases to the another person. In public group is the primary objective of the public group. Primary objective of the public group is to ease the sharing. The primary objective of the public group is to share the record. This is to share the record. That means I'm the owner, right? So, but I'm sharing the information for time being to the another person. Now, in the queue, it can be created or created for the custom object, lead, case, and knowledge article. Few other queues can be created for all the custom objects. Queue can be created for the lead, case, and knowledge article, few other custom objects. Whereas public group is, there is no restriction. It can be used across the various objects. There is no restriction that I should be using the public group for custom object or I should be using the public group for the only lead case. Like that, there is no restriction. It can be used for the multiple objects for different, whether it is a custom object or any standard object, I can use the public group. Take a notes of it. Done? So in the queue, last time we have seen the manual. How can I assign a record manually to the queue? We have seen it in the last session. Now, when we say manual, so how long I can do the manual? Like right now, if I am receiving a one record every day, I can handle it manually. But if I am receiving a records, more than 1,000 records, is it possible for any person to handle the manual transfer? It is so difficult. And it's a repeated job. You have to do it like look for the from where we have received it, and then we are assigning the lead to the that queue. So it's a manual job and which is a repeated job. We cannot handle the 10,000 records in a day. In case if I wanted to automate this process, we can automate it by using the automated transfer. So queue is having a manual transfer and the second one is automated transfer. When we have a automated transfer, now how can we do the automated transfer? Using the assignment rule. Using the assignment rules, we can do the automated transfer. Now what is this assignment rule? What is this assignment rule? Let's take a scenario. Let's assume that we have a position object. We have a position object. Let's say that there is a position open. Right? The position is multiple positions are open. Multiple positions are open. Like let's say that Salesforce developer position is open in Hyderabad. Salesforce developer position is open in Bangalore. Salesforce developer position is open in Chennai. So 3 different places there is a opening, but the position details are same. Salesforce developer, right? So now for this position, there are few members are applied. Few developers are applied for this position. Now, whenever they apply for this position, what will happen? They will open this position. Now, this person will go through the Naukri and they have seen this position is available. Now, they will open this in the Naukri and they fill up the information, first name, last name, upload the resume, phone number, and then click on the submit. When they click on the submit, what will happen? There is a record that gets created at the backend. There is a record that gets created in the backend. Assume that it's a lead record. For clients, we are the leads, right? So if they have to implement anything, then they have to recruit the people. So there is a record is created at the backend. So when the record is created, now assume that 5 records are there. Now nobody is there to look at the each. Nobody is there to open the each record and monitor this, in which position it is. It is for the Salesforce position and what are the experience, whether it is received from the Hyderabad, Bangalore or Mumbai or Chennai. Nobody is there to track it this one. So what we have done is, it is as soon as the record is created, there is a assignment rule is implemented in the system. Assignment rule is implemented in the system. What is this assignment rule? As soon as the record is created, it will assign to the different queues. That means if I have received the resume from the Hyderabad, it will be sent to the Hyderabad group. The assignment will happen to Hyderabad group. If the resume is received from the Bangalore, then the assignment is going to happen for the Bangalore team. Now, if the resume is we have received it from the Chennai, then the assignment will happen to the Chennai group. So this is it's automation. It's a automated transfer. So it is going to automatically transfer the record to the specific group. Now, this kind of a assignment rule we can only implement on the standard object that is called lead case. Lead and case. These are the 2 standard objects we can implement. Whereas custom object we can implement all the other custom objects. But right now the assignment rule is only on the lead and case. If you want to implement for the custom object, we can do it, but using the Apex, we have to do it. Using the Apex, we have to do it. So right now, the configuration is only available for lead and case. Now let's see the assignment rule. Now in the automated transfer. So automated transfer is nothing but I'm transferring the record. I'm transferring the record from ownership, like whatever this ownership is, the record ownership is there, from this ownership to the another ownership I'm transferring it, right? So while transferring the record ownership to the required user, could be a user or could be a queue. Could be a user or could be a queue. Manually we can do it. So, right, it will take more time. If I wanted to do the manually, it will take more time. Now, each record I have to open and assign that record to the user or a queue it is going to take more time. So instead of this, what we can make is we can create a automated process. We can create automated process by using the assignment rule. By using the assignment rule. So assignment rules are used to transfer the record to the required user or a queue dynamically at runtime. That means nobody need to do any action there. As soon as the record is created, automatically system will take care of assigning the record to the specific queue or specific user. So dynamically it will run at the, during the runtime, it will execute it. Now assignment rules will always fired after insert and after update. Assignment rules will always fired after insert or after update the record inside the object. So either you are creating a record or you are updating a record. Whenever you are creating a record, that time it will work. Even when you are updating it, that time also assignment rules gets executed. Only after the data is inserted in the database. That means we have a database here and this is the UI. Now in the UI, you are creating the record. Once you click on the save button, what should happen? It should go to the database. If it is saved record in the database successfully, then only the assignment rule gets executed. Then only the assignment rule is get executed, which is always after insert and after update. So both the time it gets executed the assignment rule. Now we can configure one or more assignment rules inside the organization. But you can create a more than one assignment rule, but only one should be active at a time. One assignment rule should be active at a time. You cannot activate a multiple assignment rules. On an object, you can create only one assignment rule. You can create only one assignment rule. Take a notes of it. Okay, so let's move on. So basically the Salesforce has provided the 3 different type of assignment rules. 3 different type of assignment rule. One is a lead assignment rule. Lead assignment rule is nothing but if you want to, this lead assignment rule is to transfer the lead record to the required user or a queue dynamically at runtime based on the specified condition. Based on specified condition. Now the second one is a case assignment rule. Same thing, this is also used to transfer the case record, whereas lead assignment is only specific to the lead records. Case assignment rule is only specific to the case records. This could be transferred to the a user or a queue during the runtime. Dynamically, it will update it. Now, the third one is called custom assignment rule. The third one is custom assignment rule. The custom assignment rule is we can configure the custom assignment rules for the queue supporting objects for the Apex programming. For the Apex, using the Apex program, I can implement the custom. So custom assignment rule, we can configure the custom assignment rule for the queue supporting object by using the Apex programming. By using the Apex programming. But in the configuration admin side, only the lead assignment rule and the case assignment rule, only 2 things are available. Let's see the navigation steps. Navigation steps for a assignment rule. Click on it, setup, search for a assignment rule. So if you search for a assignment rule, you will see the lead assignment rule. You will see the case assignment rule. So let me show you that. So let's go to the setup, home. Now let's search here assignment rule. Now if I search assignment rule, I can see the lead assignment rule, case assignment rule. Custom is not available here. Using the Apex, we can implement the custom assignment rule, right? So let's see the first one, lead assignment rule. The lead assignment rule is available within the marketing. Case assignment rule is available within the service. Now let's see the lead assignment. If you click on the lead assignment rule, as when you click on the lead assignment rule, you will see here the information. It says that automatically assign leads to the user or a queue based on the criteria you define. That means whatever the criteria that you are defining it, whatever the criteria the admin team is defining it. So based on that criteria, the assignment is going to happen. The lead assignment is going to happen. You can create a multiple rules in the different condition. Now let me show you that. So right now by default, Salesforce is providing the active lead assignment. Active lead assignment rules. Now here we have a active checkbox and this is a standard rule name and it is automatically created by the Salesforce. It is automatically created by the Salesforce. That means whenever the org is created, automatically this record is created in the lead assignment rule. In the lead assignment. So we will assign the, this is by default, Salesforce is creating. So let's click on this new button. Now let's go ahead and create a new assignment rule. Now what we are creating here, we are creating the assignment rule on the lead object. Assignment rule on the lead object. Now, if I wanted to create a assignment rule, what are the steps that we have to do? First, it is going to ask me the rule name, right? So when it asks the rule name and then active checkbox, that is the first screen. That is the first screen. And then it is going to ask us about the what is the criteria that you wanted to define it. Here it is a rule name is a standard rule name. Rule name is standard. And then once the rule is created, inside that we have a rule entries. That means this is the assignment rule name. Now, once you create a assignment rule name, there is a rule entries will be there. Rule entries, you can create a multiple criterias. You can create a multiple criterias, and when you create a multiple criteria, you need to assign the order. Now this order is going to play an important role in the assignment rule. That means it is going to say that which criteria do you want to execute first, or which order you wanted to execute it first. So the order you have to mention. So what will happen whenever it is executing at the backend? First, it will execute the first order. Once it is completed, then it will go back to the second order. It will go back to the second order. In the second order, it will execute the criteria. In the second order, it will execute the criteria. Now, once this criteria is executed, then if there is any other order 3 is there. So what will happen? It will execute the third one. That means we are explaining to the system in this criteria or in this rule, first execute the first order, then execute the second order, then execute the third order. So this is the order of execution for the assignment rule. This is the order of execution for the assignment rule. Now, once it is created, now let's say here requirement, configure the lead assignment rule to transfer the lead record to the required queue based on the lead city. That means whenever the lead record is created, there is a field called city. In the city, if it says Hyderabad, go to the Hyderabad sales queue. Now, if it is a city equal to Bangalore, it should go to the Bangalore sales queue. If it is a Chennai, it should go to the Chennai sales queue. So this is the requirement. If it is a Mumbai city, is a Mumbai, then it should go to the Mumbai sales queue. That means based on the city, I need to assign this to the queue name, which is called as a Hyderabad sales queue, Bangalore sales queue, Chennai sales queue, Mumbai sales queue. Now, step 1 is I need to create a 4 queues which supports the lead object record, add the Virat Kohli user to the as a queue member. Let's say, do I have a queue? Whatever the required queue is needed, do I have a queues or not? Let's see that. So we need a 4 queues: Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, right? And so here we have a Hyderabad sales queue, Bangalore sales queue. I'll create a one more queue, which is called as a Chennai sales queue. Let's say I'm going to create here Chennai sales queue. Now the queue email is samskarit @gmail.com. Now, here the object I need to specify. The object which I need is lead object, right? So whatever the assignment I'm creating it, if I'm going to assign the queue, if queue is says different thing, like here I'm giving the lead, right? So that means this queue can be used in the lead assignment. If I say if I use a different object, let's suppose I'm going to use the invoice here. So what will happen if I give a reference to the lead assignment? It will break. Why it will break? Because I have two things here. One is the assignment rule and another one is a queue. One is assignment rule and another one is a queue. This is a assignment rule. Now, if it is a assignment rule, in this assignment rule, what we are doing is we are specifying the which object I am creating the assignment rule, either lead or a case. Let's assume that we are creating for the lead. When I'm creating the lead assignment rule, I need to refer the queue name because whom to assign it has to be decided. Now, when I'm referring the queue, here the object is lead. And here also in the queue, the object should be lead. If it is a different, then it will throw an error. That means I have a assignment rule dot lead is equal to queue member dot lead. Both the objects should be same. Assignment rule side, if it is created for the lead, queue side, it should be a lead. If I'm creating the assignment rule for the case, now in the queue also, we need to use the queue for the case. If it is not same, for example, I'm creating the assignment rule for case, but I'm referring the queue which is having a lead object. What will happen? Both are not same. So ultimately, system is going to throw an error. System is going to give an error. So that's the reason whenever you are creating a queue, just cross verify is what is the object that you need to specify here, that object name, and the user is, let's say, Virat Kohli. Now click on the save button. Now here I have a lead for the Chennai, lead for Bangalore, lead for Hyderabad. This looks good. Okay, so if it is a case, you need to create a queue for the case object. Right now, let's go ahead and create a rule here. The rule name is, let's say that the requirement is for based on the city, we need to assign the record to the specific queue. Let's say here I'm going to say lead city rule. And the status is active. I already have a active assignment rule. If you observe that the Salesforce is already providing me the one assignment rule, which is a active, right? So this is active. Now, if I click on this active, what will happen? As per the standard rule, we can have only one assignment rule per object. Now, what has happened? It is deactivated the other one and activated the lead city rule. Now, that's the reason the active is only if you are activating the multiple rules. Also, system will not allow you to activate the multiple rules. It can accept only one rule. If you create another assignment, if you activate another assignment, it will deactivate this one. Now the rule has been created. Now I'll click on. Now let's say here when I click on this rule, now we have a rule entries. Now in the rule entries, we have a new rule. There is right now no rule entries are there. Now what is the rule entries that we have to create it? Now step 2 is we need to configure the lead assignment. Click on a new button. We have already created the assignment rule name and we have activated it. Now the section comes rule entries. Now in the rule entries, we need to click on a new button. And in the new button, what is the things that we need to check? The criteria that we need to check is if the city equal to Bangalore, assign it to the Bangalore queue. Now let's click on the new button here. Now if I click on the new button, now there are 3 steps are available. Set the order in which this rule entry will be processed. That means you specify the order. Which order do you want this specific rule entry should be executed? Now I'll say here first order. This is the first order it should be executed because this is the entry, rule entry. Now field, which field do you wanted to check the criteria? Now here we are going to check lead city equals to, let's say Hyderabad. Lead city equal to Hyderabad. Now if it is a Hyderabad, then either I can assign it to the user or I can assign it to the queue. If it is a queue, then I'll assign it to the Hyderabad sales queue. Hyderabad sales queue. Now email templates. Now you can select any default email template. Let's assume that you have some email template that you wanted to send an email. There is a by default one email that goes out from the Salesforce. Apart from that Salesforce email, if you wanted to send any other email, then you can choose the email template here. You can select, click on that banner and you can select on this any, let's say sales department, no, new lead creation, right? So this email, if you wanted to send an email, you can send it. Now, if I check this, do not reassign the owner. If I say do not reassign the owner, that means don't assign anybody. Don't assign anybody. Select the user or a queue assigned to the lead. As soon as I check this, the both options will be deactivated. Both options will be deactivated. That means do not assign the owner. Now, if I uncheck it, these two fields are enabled. Now, let's say here I'm going to select the queue, which is called as a Hyderabad sales queue. And the email template, you can choose any email template. Let's assume that I have a department new lead. Now, here we have a add filter logic. This is similar to the formula field or similar to the validation formula field. Yes. So in the formula field, if you want to add any logic, or in the validation rule, if you want to add any logic here, right? So what you can do is you can add a filter logic here. Filter logic. So basically, if you say here, for example, now I can select here lead city equals to Bangalore. Lead city equal to Bangalore. And if it is a Bangalore, should be assigned to the Bangalore. Let's assume that whether city is a Bangalore or Hyderabad. Bangalore or a Hyderabad. So what you can do is you can add here condition either 1 or 2. By default and will be there. But what you can do is you can add a or condition. If it is a 1 or 2, just simply assign it to the field. But here our requirement is if it is a Bangalore, it should be assigned to the Bangalore queue. So which will not fulfill. So that's the reason I'm adding the only one condition here. Only one condition is there. That is the one. Now let's click on the save. Now one rule entry is created. One rule entry is created. Now I'll create another rule entry. Click on the new. Now this time I'll say that if it is a, let's assume that sort order is 3. Sort order is 3, and then I'm going to say city equals to Bangalore. City equals to Bangalore. Now the user is, now instead of a user, I'll say the queue. I'll say the queue. Now if city equal to Bangalore, then I'm going to assign it to the Bangalore sales queue. Assign it to the Bangalore sales queue. Now I do not want to select the template, click on the save. Which sort order we have created? Third sort order. That means after the first, right? So immediately what it says, you have created the third order. But immediately what is happening, it is automatically change the order to second. Right? Now I'm going to create another one. And I'll say here, this is the third order. Now, city equal to, if it is equals to Chennai. If it is equals to Chennai, I'll select the queue. Should be a Chennai sales queue. Chennai sales queue and click on the save button. Now we have the order. 1, 2, 3 order is there. Let's assume that I wanted to make second one is as third one And then this one is as a second. 1, 2, 3. If you say here reorder, what will happen? It will execute it. Chennai will go up and then Bangalore will come in. So that means the admin will have a flexibility that which criteria should be executed first. Then after that, which criteria do I need to execute it? After that, which criteria I need to execute it? So these are the criteria we can specify it, and also I can specify the order of the assignment rule. Order of the assignment rule. Now, if you say here again, I'm going to say that this is the third and this is the second. Let's say reorder, Bangalore will go into the here. Okay. Now let's click on it. Okay, save is already done. Now we are done with the assignment rule. We are done with assignment rule. Now what we are going to do is, the final step 3 is, we are going to click on a new button in the details inside it option. Let's go ahead and create a record. So let's say here I'm going to create a lead record. Click on this leads navigation item and then click on the new button. So let's assume that I'm creating the new lead. Now the lead name is, let's say here, Ajay Naidu. Ajay Naidu, and then company is, let's say here, GST is the company. GST is the company. Now I'm going to click on a save. If I click on a save, what will happen? Whether the assignment rule gets executed or not. It will not execute the assignment rule. Until unless you check this checkbox, it will not execute the assignment rule. So what you have to do is, you have to select this checkbox. Right? So whenever you are creating the lead, if you select this, that means assign the active assignment rule. If you check this, then only the assignment rule gets executed. Now here I have to specify the city, let's say Hyderabad. Now click on the save. Now as soon as the record is created, what will happen? There is a record is created and it is assigned to the owner is called Hyderabad sales queue. Hyderabad sales queue. Now what happened? First we have opened the user interface. This is the user interface. Now in the user interface, I clicked on the new button. Now it opened up the screen and I have entered all the information including city and then clicked on the save button. Before clicking on the save button, there is a checkbox here, assignment rule execute. So I have enabled that. If I enable and click on a save, what will happen? It went to the database. Now I have a database here. Inside the database, the record is already created. Once the record is created inside the database, then it will send the successful response back to the UI. Once it is received the successful response on the UI, then the assignment rule, because the checkbox is enabled, it will send another one. Now go ahead and execute the assignment rule. It will execute the assignment rule and then it will update here it is, update the record from the lead owner. Whatever the person, whoever is created, the owner is there. From that owner, it will update it to the Hyderabad sales queue. Hyderabad sales queue. Right? For example, if I wanted to change the city. Now, whenever you want to change the city, let's assume that if you are clicking on the edit button, if you click on a inline editing button, assignment rules are not going to execute. It will not work. Assignment rules does not work. If you click on a inline editing, let's say here I'm going to update a Bangalore. So city, I'm updating the Bangalore. If the city is a Bangalore, so what should happen? It should assign to the Bangalore sales queue. But in this case, what will happen? It will not execute the assignment rule. It will not execute the assignment rule. The lead owner is still Hyderabad sales queue. Now, if you want to update it, if you want to modify the record, click on the edit button. The reason is when you click on the edit button, then only you can see here assignment rule option is available. Assignment rule option is available. Now if I say Chennai, and if I click on this assign using the active assignment rule, click on a save. Click on save. Now the owner is updated to the Chennai sales queue. Chennai sales queue. Right, it is updated to the Chennai sales queue. So whenever you have a assignment rule, if you want to execute it, do not click on the inline editing, click on the edit button here. If you click on the edit button, there is an option which is available to assign using the active assignment rule. So enable that part, so that what will happen, it will execute the assignment rule. It will execute the assignment rule. That's the third step. It will create the lead record inside the object and it will assign the respective queue based on the condition, based on the criteria that is mentioned in the rule entry. Now, any questions on this?
Yes, ma'am. The last one, can you please repeat me again once, please? Like you created this one, right? But you have not assigned to the, once you created this record, you select as a Bangalore, but you have not selected the assignment role, right?
So what I'm saying is when you click on the inline editing, so this is called inline editing. So when you click on this inline editing, if you modify anything here, it does not work. It does not work. For example, if I'm changing to the Hyderabad, if I change to the Hyderabad and click on save, it does not work the assignment rule because inline editing does not have a capability to run the or execute the assignment rule. So if you want the assignment rule to be executed on update, so what you have to do is you have to click on the edit button. If you click on the edit button, then you modify here Hyderabad and click on this assign using the active assignment rule. Click on the save button, then the owner gets updated to the Hyderabad sales queue.
Got it, ma'am. Ma'am, if let's assume if I create the lead record in record lead object, once I create the record, for example, behalf of Hyderabad, if I place it in Bangalore, so it shows the pop-up, right? Assignment active is not assignment is there, right? If I click there, then it will be assignment. Without clicking that, it won't be assigned, right, ma'am?
Yes. That's right. So let's move on.
Thank you, ma'am.
No, let's say here questions. And before going to the question, let's go for the assigned homework. So homework 1, configure the queue, service queue by adding the case object as a supporting object and Salesforce license as a queue member. Salesforce license as a queue member. Like you might be having a user that is holding the Salesforce license. Now you need to assign that user to the queue member. Now homework 2 is configure a queue, opportunity sales queue. Opportunity sales queue by adding the opportunity object as a supporting object and Salesforce license as the queue member. Note down the first homework. Yes.
The queue only supports the lead and case objects. No?
Yes.
Yes, madam. When we are trying to
Here
with
in
the
assignment,
opportunity object, we are able to.
That's exactly I want input from you guys, whether you are able to understand my sessions or not. Homework 2 is a incorrect homework.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take a notes of homework 1.
Only lead and case object we can create.
Yes.
Right.
Done. Okay. So let's move on. Configure a case assignment role to assign the case record. To assign the case record to the required queue based on the priority. In the case, we have a field called priority. So that means case priority and the queue name. If the priority is a high, assign to the tier 1 service queue. If the priority equal to medium, assign to tier 2 service queue. If the priority equal to low, then assign to the tier 3 service queue. So you need to configure the required queue by adding the case object. By adding the case object as the supported object and the Salesforce license user. Whatever the homework 1 is there, you need to implement the assignment rule for that and assign it to that queue. Take a note of it.
but
Yes.
here how to assign the say, license user? If the
So when you go
human,
to the user, the user itself, it says that what license is the user is holding. So for example, if I open this user, let's say that
that it will show, but in queue, ma'am, to assign the queue as a queue member.
Oh,
So
okay.
from user, we have to check.
Yes, so I cannot specify the user, like I cannot say that assign this user to this queue because in your system, you might be having a different user, right?
Yeah,
So you need to check, for example, if I go to the Virat Kohli, now you need to check which user is having a license of Salesforce.
Okay, fine.
Okay, that user you need to assign to the queue.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Understood.
Taken the notes of it. Shall I move on?
Yes.
Okay. So homework 4, configure the lead assignment rule to and then assign the lead record to the required queue based on the option like a lead first name equal to test or a lead last name equal to test or lead email is equals to test.com. Any of the criteria is true. That means any of the condition is true. Either first name equal to test or last name equal to test or email equals to @ test.com. Any of these are there, then you need to assign it to the unassigned lead queue. The queue name is unassigned lead queue. If the lead source is equal to demo request, then you need to assign the lead to the SDR 3. If the annual revenue is greater than 10 lakh, then you need to assign it to the account executive 1. Right, so configure the required queue by adding the lead object. As a supporting object is a user who is having a license, Salesforce license to the queue member. Take a notes of it.
Ma'am,
Yes.
yes, ma'am. We have only two license, right? Salesforce license.
Mhm.
So shall we move to some other users? Shall I use other? We can transfer license to other users. For example, I created the same one which you have created, like Virat Kohli and Hemant. And
Mhm.
so, because you gave the four assignment, right? So you said give Salesforce license. So we have two licenses only. So you give the four assignment. So how shall I give the same Virat Kohli or Hemant, or shall we go for the uh, to transfer the Salesforce license to other user? Sorry.
So whatever the users you have it, out of these users, whichever the user has a license Salesforce, you can assign the same user to the multiple queue.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on. Interview questions. What is the differences between public group and queue? What are the different types of queue? What is automated transfer queue? What is automated transfer? How to implement automated transfer? What is assignment rule? How many assignment rows? How many assignment rows created per object? How many assignment rows should be active at a time? When assignment row executed, what are the different type of assignment rows provided by the Salesforce? How to implement custom assignment role. How to implement custom assignment role. What is the rule entry? What are the different steps to complete assignment role? That's all, and I'm going to provide the trial head link. That's all for today's session.